that's Dwayne Coleman. Dwayne, I thought you were passing the ball very nicely today. A lot of, hitting your receivers, even in traffic. What was your assessment?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. I had some good protection most of the time. My receivers made some great catches like Montese, Cam Sure, Trey Benson. Those guys made the throw look very good when they catch the ball. So kudos to those guys.
Absolutely. And Jake, you were running the ball, got a lot of work today. How did it feel?
Good, thank you. I'm very grateful for every opportunity I was given.
And you had a 1-yard touchdown towards the end. What was that play like?
It was kind of a dream come true for sure. Scoring my first touchdown on in the scrimmage. It was a good time.
Yeah. Well, you had one really long pass completion today. How is it, 61 yards to Lloyd Benson?
Oh, yes, sir.
I think it was on the left sideline. What was that play like?
Well, I dropped back. Trey made a great break. He was in the wake of the receiver, made a great break on the post route, and he was basically wide open. So I tried to hit him in his nose, and he caught the ball, ran in for a touchdown.
You had a little trouble in the backfield though in that play. You had a lot of pressure.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we practiced that play a lot and on air. So I trusted that Trey Benson was going to be in that spot, and he made it right.
Your mobility.
I feel like that's one of my weaknesses. I feel like I'm not the fastest or quickest guy. I've been trying to work on that in the off season, but I feel like I have a lot of confidence, and I do trust my teammates, especially my O-line and receivers. So it makes me feel way more comfortable when I'm in the pocket.
First half, 7 for 700 yards. You were probably feeling pretty darn good at that point.
I didn't even know. I take it one play at a time, sir. I don't be knowing about the
That's
stuff.
good. You knew things were going well for you.
Yes, sir. Even when bad things happen, I try to keep a positive mindset.
All right, then you hit a patch 1 for 6,
Mhm.
but you got the call at the end of the game. So how do you shake off? I don't know if you felt bad about the 1 for 6 in the middle. How do you shake that off and then be determined to lead a winning drive?
Yes, sir. We have a great opportunity to have an officer representative, Mr. Tillman, and he does a great job with teaching us the mental game and having mental strength. So I was not really aware of my percentages. I was just taking it one play at a time and having confidence in that next play and trying to make something happen.
How fun was that last drive?
It was very fun. AJ was running the ball great. Montese made a great catch over there. And then when we got to the goal line, I was like, Coach Vitti wanted to do a bootleg option, a bootleg play and roll out. I was like, Mob, do y'all want to do a bootleg? Y'all want to run it in? I was like, let's run it in with AJ. And AJ took it on in there, and we did it. That was a fun drive right there.
One more thing, Dwayne. I remember a year ago you had a tremendous black and gold game and closed camp well. Tell me about your feelings on this camp and going into August preseason.
Oh, yes, sir. Coming in last year, I never got the opportunity to really play much because I had a lot of older guys above me. So I was just taking time to learn from those guys. And then this year, I feel like I've always led, but I was more in that seniority position with being a greater grade. So I felt like it was one of my responsibilities to lead my team this camp. And I feel like I've done that pretty well. And I continue to build those relationships with those guys that are maybe a little younger, and even the older guys as well.
Jake, we spoke the other day about your camp. How do you sum up what you were able to accomplish?
I'm definitely very grateful for everything I've been, all the opportunity I've been given this spring for sure. Building all these, this trust and confidence with my old linemen for sure.
How influenced were you by Jacoby?
Very, very. We're really good friends for sure, and yeah, great guy, great friend.
Did you learn something from his technique, or did he prove to you that yes, that's a good way to play?
Absolutely, Jacoby definitely had some influence over how I played for sure. Coming through here, obviously, there's been a great long line of B-backs, fullbacks, and you can take a bit and piece from how everybody ran their style specifically, and hopefully you can take all those and put it together and make something great.
What's it like running physical the way you do? I mean, fullbacks aren't get the glory guys. They're not going to bust off, huge gains for the most part. But you have to do the dirty work. You have to get those 3 and 4 and 5 yards. What's that like for you?
I mean, it's kind of everything, that's for sure. You just got to love it. It's kind of a mentality for sure. Definitely black flag mentality, 100%. Yeah.
Rich?
Army Radio. Jake, let's start with you. So after going through last season and now this spring, with the change in the offense, how much comfortable are you with what's going to be asked of you being more under center, the offense, and from that, what's been a traditional fullback position?
Yeah, I'm definitely a lot more confident in this offensive type for sure. So I'm pretty excited for what's to come.
And it's wait for you, and you've seen both offenses, right?
Yes, sir.
From a spring last year and finished strong in what was a shotgun-based offense. This year finishing strong and was more under center. Compare the two and your comfortability right now following this spring.
Yes, sir. I'm much more comfortable this year with Coach Worley being my offensive coordinator. He was the first guy when I was at the prep school, keeping in touch with him there. And then my freshman year, he was my quarterback coach. So I have a good relationship with him, and I trust in what he has planned for me, and I'm gonna just execute his plans.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
Point, do you like going from shotgun to under center and back and forth?
Yes, sir. I actually do. I feel like that. I feel like it puts the defense at a. They start thinking a little bit much, and when you start thinking in football, you start to play a little slower. So I do like the transition when we jump from under center and in the shotgun. But I feel like it's vital that we keep that black flag mentality of running the ball and hitting you in the mouth every time.
I would think some people would say, oh, it's not an advantage because you run 90% behind center and now you throw the ball. You guys are mixing it 50-50. Is it just a matter of knowing the plays on your part? And it has to be a mindset of, hey, whatever they tell me to do.
Yes, sir. It takes a lot of practice, and just building that trust in each 11 guy on the field. And when you trust each guy knows their job, we're able to execute pretty well.
When do you prefer being under center or shotgun? Is it a challenge? Just go back and forth?
No, sir. I don't really feel more comfortable in either one. I trust my centers to give me the ball, and then when we get the ball, we just playing football.
That's great.
Yes, sir.
Guys, Joe on Zoom, we got Dwayne Coleman and Jake Rendina here. So if you want to ask your questions for those guys, go ahead.
Hey guys, Joe Icono with GoBlackKnights.com. Dwayne, first question for you. Heard you had a big night passing the ball, connecting with some of your receivers and everything. Just talk a little bit about that and kind of how confident you feel in your passing. But, I know Army's not a passing team, but, when called upon to do so, how comfortable have you become this spring hooking up with your receivers and doing so tonight in the spring game?
Yes, sir. Since day one of camp or spring ball, we've been building these relationships and timings with my receivers. I was able to trust my guy Trey Benson today to be across the middle wide open, and I hit him for that one. It's really just building trust in practice, sir. Each day, we go out and try to get better each day and watch the film and then just talk about it. And once we get on the same page, I feel like we're able to execute much more efficiently.
And Jake, I know you got a number of big carries tonight, a lot of tough yardage up the middle on the fullback dive, and the running back crew's a little younger this year. I know that. So kind of talk a little bit about you and your teammates and kind of how you guys came together and the night you feel that you had tonight. How did that, how comfortable did you feel back there? And how do you think your teammates did in the backfield?
I think we all did a pretty good job as a younger unit, as you said. I think each individual brings a certain attribute to the table, and when they get their opportunity, they use that and they shine in whatever that is for sure. I'm just it's a good crew of guys, bunch of good dudes, and they're going to do great things.
And last question for Dwayne, kind of compare, now you've been through your, one of the backup quarterbacks last year, got to kind of practice all through the season, went through winter conditioning drills and now spring ball. Kind of compare in your mind where you are today from understanding all facets of the offense and kind of committing that to muscle memory versus where you were a year ago, maybe at the end of spring practice.
Yes, sir. I feel like I have improved over time, but I'm definitely not where I want to be at yet, sir. I had one play today where I got sacked in the red zone, and I should have threw it away. So just getting those little tweaks, and I had a few more mishaps as well today, but just fixing those things and trying to be as perfect as I could be. But I just try to focus on getting better each day, sir, and then just grow and see where that gets me.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Jake, Dwayne, you guys are all set.
Perfect. You have a good one, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Good.
You have a good one. Yes, sir.
Bill, Greg. Thanks, guys. Next, we're going to have Lloyd Benson and Bill Katsianis. Did you hear that, Joe? Awesome. Chris, you can start.
Boys, for you, some big plays out there. Take me through them.
So we've been working in practice that play for a long time now, and it just came into fruition. We've been working on the small details that really open up the play, and then once we got there, we just executed, and it's all thanks to the O-lineman and then Dwayne Coleman as well. So
You get a feeling with this offense that the passing game is going to be able to take teams by surprise by running so much under center. You know, take me through maybe the look on the defense when you're running some of this.
well, the defense gets confused often because, we go into the spread, then we go into the triple option. So they don't know what's coming next. So I think it's dynamic and can open up a lot of stuff for us in the future.
And Bill, what about blocking in this offense and doing what you do?
So, like you said, the passing game, most of our pass games are like run hard heavy. So it's easy for us to just transition from running to pass blocking. And then we hit the fundamentals a lot with staying up with our chest in case of like 1 minute drill and stuff like that. So I thought today the offensive line especially did pretty good, at least in the black team, in the passing scenarios.
Great, thanks, guys.
Bill, you think that it's easy going from pass block to run block and
Yes, sir, because we do a lot of play action passes. So, and then our stances compared to about 2 years ago when we were in the real triple option, we were very front heavy, whereas now we're more on our heels and stuff like that. So it's not hard to do a run and then immediately pass block. It's the same thing.
is it easier in this offense because you vary, spread, close, shotgun, under center, versus when teams expected you to run the ball 95% of the time?
Both. I think we can package certain formations to make it look like we're gonna run, and then the offensive line looks like they're run blocking, and then boom, we just throw the ball over their heads if they're not expecting it. But it can go both ways. If the team is expecting us to run the ball 95% of the time and then we just throw one, I don't know. It's just depends on the way you dress it up.
Last one, Bill. How did you feel camp went overall for the team and for yourself?
For the team overall, felt like, at least for the offensive unit, when we came back from spring break, we were a lot more locked in on our fundamentals, especially the offensive line. The defense, I think throughout spring ball, they were on top of their assignments for most of the time. When we started to add in new formations and tags to plays, we keep them on their toes. But I think overall as a team, we did really well, especially as spring ball progressed. And then you got to see it here today. I mean, I think both sides had their ups and downs today. And then as for myself, I think kind of a new scheme offense, but we've run both variations in the past couple of years. So as for myself, it was just trying to remember all the plays from last year and then the year before that. I think same as the team, as spring ball progressed, I got a little bit better and better. And then definitely after spring break, had like some time off to let my body heal and readjust, and then came back. It was good.
Bill, just want to ask you about your recovery from the injury you had last year. What it's taken to get ready to be able to play in the spring game?
To be honest, last year I suffered like kind of a concussion, and what it took was taking some time off. And then when I did that, I just studied the playbook a lot, and I was able to teach the younger guys the plays. So they were able to lock in, and it was kind of a win-win for the whole team. And I just took time off and then came here and balled out.
How is it now? Last year you were penciled in to be a center, and then the concussion happened, and then now you're a left guard.
Yes, sir.
What is that transition like for you?
Easier, I would say, because as a center, you've got to focus on getting the ball to the quarterback. Whereas as a left guard, you already have more space between you and the defender, and then you take out the element of having to snap the ball. So the transition was much easier, to be honest.
What was it like watching Brady Small's development last year?
I actually loved it because when I got hurt, I knew I had a concussion, and they brought up Brady Small, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just coach this kid up, and because I thought I was gonna come back early, and I said I was just coach this kid up, and every day I was out there with him, teaching him the plays because he wasn't really learning them as a freshman, and then he started balling out, and I was actually really proud of him, and I was happy for him.
This month, concussions are a serious concern, obviously in football and in life. What did you learn from it was important to your recovery?
You said, what did I learn
But
from
just
that?
what was important to your recovery from a concussion?
It was important for me to tell myself that this is very serious because I want to be out there with my guys, and it kills me when I see them working hard and I'm just sitting there doing nothing because you really can't do anything with a concussion. So I was just trying to tell myself, you've got to wait, and then you'll come back eventually.
Good. Lloyd, just ask you about you got the 61-yard touchdown pass from Dwayne. What was that play like for you?
It was exciting. It was very satisfying too. All the hard work that the crew been putting in the offense. So I was really grateful to have that opportunity.
What's part of your game that you're really working on now?
Getting in and out of breaks, really focusing on being a leader and knowing my plays. Even as a freshman, I still want to be able to communicate with my teammates about different like plays and skills. So really just coming in and out of breaks and being a leader.
And you're in as a slot back?
Yes, sir.
That's great. How do you like being in this offense? It's all about, going back, hybrid, going back to the option.
I think it's exciting. In high school, I wasn't a part of offense like that. I was mostly spread, but I think it's a new thing that I'm gonna get used to, and it's exciting. Like I
Very
said,
good.
Well, just to have the offense have a big play like that, I mean, you guys are, it's a hybrid offense, but how much do you look forward to that transferring over to the regular season, having those big pass plays to help move the football, so to speak, for the offense?
I think we're gonna see plays like that often in the future. When teams load the box, I think we could really make a big dynamic plays like that and really boost morale and then swing the momentum. So I think we're gonna see a lot of that.
Joe on Zoom.
All right. Hey, Lloyd, Joe Icono, GoBlackKnights.com. On your touchdown catch, could you just break down the design of that play a little bit and what you saw as you were kind of starting your pattern and everything?
Yes, certainly. So we were in a flex formation, like tight bunch. So the scheme of that play is to get the safety and the corner to go with the outside receiver so it can open up the middle of the field. And it's best for 2 high coverages. So my job is to wait and get in the receiver's wake so I could really hide and mask myself until I could hit the middle when the receiver breaks out for the corner. Like I hit the post and the receiver works out on the corner. And then, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. And Bill, what was it like after, winter conditioning, spring practice, working really hard? How much fun is the black gold game to be able to come out here and get in a game situation?
Coach Monken said it the other day in team meeting. He said not many teams get to actually play a game at the end of their spring ball. And I think it's a very special thing that we do here because you really just take everything you learn and you just let loose and you just play against your teammates. So it's a good time, and it's really just like a game. You just let everything go.
Great. Thanks, guys.
How you guys doing?
All right. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
So good to
Thank
see
you.
you. Glad you're
Yes,
back.
sir. I'm back. Ready to go.
Well, nice to meet you. Nice to see you. About too many concussion injuries lately. I don't know if the added helmets in practice are helping.
Why everybody wins with it. I have to say, studies.
You see injuries, I see notes from Eric LeGrand all the time on Facebook and LinkedIn. We got the game, they got hurt.
No. Pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it's basically no use with his hands, from what I can tell. They've outfitted him with like Star Wars level wheelchair. So he can do things like. But he's a courageous guy, I mean. Then it was, he's a coffee shop out in New Jersey, went to over the summer last year. Remember the play. He was basically breaking the ledge. And then he ran into Malcolm Brown. Boy, the player hurt up at, Syracuse is down on the field for 15 minutes. We're gonna have to be fine.
Yeah.
And then 5 quarterbacks in the game. Zach Mundell, Cale Hillens, and Mitch Bold. Yeah, so Coach Monken said they had 2 quarterback roster, plus whatever they have at the prep school. I'm surprised Wayne Coleman didn't get more of an opportunity last year than Bryce Everett.
Preseason. Because he started on the June chart. You know, he fell to number 3.
In the August scrimmage, I thought Champ Harris struggled, and Dwayne was, was playing. And then the other fellow, what was it, Robinson? Played decent. You may hear where Champ Harris may have landed?
I don't remember where.
I don't know, I don't.
Yeah, I remember seeing it like on social.
It's Texas.
That sounds right.
Well, maybe somewhere just basically go to school until for the semester. He does okay.
Say something about the second best quarterback playing defense sucks. If you know that. Who would fit this offense the best? Who plays defense?
Also really challenged. He didn't have the red shirt.
Tommy,
He was right
Zitello.
out.
Is he coming as a player?
No.
Tommy Zitello,
Yeah,
senior safety.
next team. He would be great for this offense. He's joking around with coaches that he wants to get that.
Max.
But he's just paid. And they are not bringing in 2 freshman quarterbacks. They probably have 4 directs, 2 preps. Not just bringing it to somewhere.
Yeah, I think so.
They'll get it up to like 9 or 10, and then they'll move somebody somewhere. They need
Well,
to get
quarterbacks always are the best
team
athletes.
quarterbacks. You guys that are just gonna be pretty much, with all due respect, tackle guys. Need those guys.
I think Jeff was just saying 2 quarterbacks of the remaining people he considered serious.
can't tell you, the recruiting moves so fast. I haven't looked at the guys coming in, the 2024 guys.
We're in Florida.
Harrison Orr, the kid's name? I don't know, is Fort Walton Beach sound
Yeah,
right-ish?
yeah.
That's, I mean, I'm on like 2 hours of sleep, so I don't even know
I feel
if that's not even, that's probably off. But he's supposed to be okay.
Eric said Coach Munkins in the.
It was on the way out.
Yeah,
Yeah, Fort Walton Beach. there.
got you.
But I don't know if he's going prep or grad.
Just trying to see if you went to a high school that my high school's played against.
That looked like a video I saw, Miller block.
That's what I saw.
But somebody,
That's who I thought it was.
when I was talking to AJ Williams, he said Banks got it.
Hmm,
I think it was right.
that's who I thought it was.
Yeah, I have the video, it's not the greatest.
Yeah.
One of them, someone got in, actually, it should have been illegal because someone vaulted over the center, but then Dre came in with a pole.
Was it those AAC refs or that?
I have no clue.
He said they were at scrimmages, I'm guessing.
I don't get fly referees in for a scrimmage, though, do you? They get some
They're
local.
everywhere, those referees, where they fly them from, like you.
Well, so I was thinking you'd probably for a scrimmage, you use local guys.
Not, you could fly them in and pay their hotel.
Yeah, they
per
pay
diem, what do they care?
They gotta pay them, so. They pay them to be.
You have unlimited budgets here.
Here, the AAC, yeah. Big time football.
With modest television contracts.
You weren't on, the new commissioners conference call, okay? I was a little disappointed.
Because I got the message about 15 minutes after it
I
ended.
was a little disappointed. Well, they didn't take any, Zooms, it was just all, only people were present, that was.
What was it, Ben and Downs? Would you go to the media day? You have to go to Downs for it, right?
I don't wanna go to that second game, I think everyone's,
You can be there, you can go to North Texas game.
I got,
You do back to TCU.
no, that's what I have set for, if he wants to go to those games, by all means.
Now, do we know how deep in the America Conference they have playoff game, they have bowl game affiliations?
I think everything's changing this year, but when I was at UCF, it was,
They had about 6.
I think we had 6 or 7.
Oh, okay, so that deep, as long as you have to have a 500 better
Yeah.
record,
Yeah, yeah.
6 wins. And then you gotta sign somewhere. Because Armin's had this great relationship with the Armed Forces. But would that be knocked out by the conference?
I have no clue.
Sorts of you.
Thanks for waiting, everybody. Hope I didn't keep you waiting long. We have about 100 recruits out there.
That's a, that's your, 100.
Oh, over 100. We at least that many. Which is great.
Rich, you want to start us off?
Absolutely. Hey, Coach, Rich Lamar, Baldwin Radio. You said this was gonna be a reward, right, for the spring, so how do you think that went tonight? And I know during the spring, there are a lot of things you want to get working. How do you think it all came together for both sides tonight?
It was fun, just as we hoped it would be. Guys played hard. Some guys made some really good plays. The last series of the game, the black teams got the ball 3rd and goal at the 1. They get a false start penalty, moves them back. They don't convert on third down, get a field goal blocked. Great play by Josiah Banks to block the kick. And I guess it was less than 3 minutes. They drive the ball down and score and take the lead. And, just the mentality, the black flag mentality we talk about, and the fight that those guys had. It was fun to see. But some guys made some really good plays. It's good to see some of those inexperienced backs run the ball. Rendina, Carson Smith, Jarrell Dixon, AJ Williams, all those guys making some good hard runs. We threw the ball and completed some passes, and our defense made a bunch of plays. They got some stops on fourth down and some key pass breakups, some sacks at the opportune times. So there was a lot of good things, but far too many mistakes, self-inflicted mistakes for us to be completely satisfied. So things we can work on. But what I wanted our guys to have fun, be competitive, and stay healthy. For the most part, I think we did those three things.
And Jeff, what was your assessment of the quarterbacks?
It's a little hard to tell when they're wearing red jerseys. They don't get a chance to finish a run. It's two-hand touch with those guys, but those guys did a good job. And it's a little difficult when you're kind of rotating guys, and sometimes in the middle of a series you're putting in a different quarterback, and that position, maybe more than any, you kind of got to get in a groove a little bit. But I thought those guys competed really hard. Bryson did a nice job. We limited his reps. I thought Dwayne Coleman did some good things. I thought he made a critical error by not throwing the ball away and taking a sack on one drive. And then he came back the next drive and felt that pressure and tossed the ball out of bounds and avoided the sack and gave his team a chance to kick a field goal on the drive. And so, that was encouraging. That group's got to get better, and they've got to make everything go. Helms, who I'm really excited about, the game's got to slow down for him a little bit more, and he's got to get more confident. He will. Zach Mundell got hit on a play, just kind of went kneecap to kneecap with somebody. It's not anything serious, but I really had hoped to see him play a little bit more. And he's been kind of nursing an injury and coming back. So there's guys there, and we're confident in that group. They've got to improve. And the more they can be in situations like they were tonight, I think the more they're going to be prepared.
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay, I mean, go talk a little bit about your offensive line. You went back and forth a little bit, shotgun and under center tonight. How do you feel like your center, Brady Small? We saw Bill Cassianis, who was out at left guard tonight. How do you feel they all reacted?
We ran the ball pretty effectively tonight, and that obviously has got to start up front with the offensive line. I think that's a good, solid group. Brady's got a lot of experience now, starting 12 games as a freshman, and it's I sometimes got to remind myself he's only a freshman and going into a sophomore year. But I think he's going to have a chance to have another good season if he'll stay healthy. Katsianis, Booby Law, Paulo Generali, David Hoyt. Just trying to think of all the guys that we've rotated through at that position over the course of the spring. I mean, there's a good bunch of guys there. There's backup guys. Lane Parks has had a really good spring and positioned himself to be a guy that we think will help us in the depth. Klaska, Tyler Lee, there's a bunch of guys there. So I'm encouraged with the guys that we've got and the job that they've done this spring. There's some improvements that got to be made there. Obviously tonight, there were some protection issues that we got to correct. And I think that group overall had 5 false starts. and that's not acceptable. We got to fix that. So there's some things there, but I think for we've had teams where there's been more guys that have been veterans and played and started games, but I don't know, it's just a good group. And I think that Coach Vitti and Coach Drenkel are doing a really good job coaching those guys.
And just, you had, just going to the kicking game today, you had 4 kickers out there at least. Alvarado had 1 kickoff that went beyond the end zone, which I thought looked impressive. Britton had the field goal. Charlie Bennett almost made the 54-yard, came very close on that. And Trey Gennady hit a goal post. So what was your thought?
3 missed field goals, and one was blocked. So 4 missed field goals, but 3 we just didn't have anything to do with the defense, just didn't make them. So we got to do a better job of putting the ball through the uprights when we got a chance to score points. First kickoff went out of bounds. That was disappointing. They're competing, and I think Trey's got himself at the top of the depth chart right now. But there's some healthy competition, and I think we'll find out a lot more when we get into preseason camp, and guys know that we're getting close to the season, and the guys are going to perform under the pressure. They're going to be the guys that'll be up there at the top, and the punters. I think there's competition there too. All 4 of those guys we got in the program, I think, are good players. Thought Allen hit a really good punt on the situation where we were kicking from about the 50. Nice high kick, and made him fair catch it at the 10. That was positive. So some good stuff, but some stuff to work on.
One defensive way that was Caleb Fortner made a tackle on Kellum, just grabs him, solid tackle. How do you feel like the defense linebackers were playing tonight?
I thought overall, and obviously I'll watch the film here in another hour or 2, but I thought our guys tackled better than they have all spring. I thought we've had scrimmages, and we've had some missed tackles, and a lot of fundamental time dedicated to tackling. And I thought tonight they did a pretty good job, and were fairly effective. We missed some tackles, and it's usually because we're not using very good fundamentals at that particular time, or it might be because of our pad level, it might be because of our feet, or we didn't wrap, or took a poor angle. Those are things we can correct, but I thought the guys did a good job. Caleb's a good player, and again, he's a guy that played a lot of football for us last year and made plenty of plays for us, and he's playing way more confident, far more than he did probably when he started last season. So I think that was, that's positive. That's a good group of guys. Ian Anda Thomas, Brett Jarena, Adam Cash, Noah Nixon, Baylor Newsome. I mean, there's a pretty good lineup of guys there that we got some confidence in.
Go ahead, Sal.
Coach, can you talk a little bit more about Ian Thomas? I know that with Leo's graduation, looking for somebody next to Caleb to play, and has he progressed as being possible to that?
He had himself positioned at the beginning of last season to probably contribute a lot more than he did, and he got hurt early in the year, and that set him back. But he's a guy that I mean, when he was a freshman on the scout team, he made a ton of plays, and our coaches were really impressed with him, and his instincts, his ability to react to his keys and find the ball. So I mean, I'm right now, he and Caleb probably, at least going into tonight's spring game, we're at the top of the depth chart. Whether it'll be that way, when we play the first game or not, I don't know. But they're both playing well. Brett Jarena's playing better than he has played his entire career, which is so fun to see a senior, a rising senior playing like that. So there's those 3 guys in particular, I think, are going to be really solid for us.
One more, speaking of a run here, how happy were you for AJ for the touchdown
Man.
in the game? Because he's been through from Crude as a fullback, went to tight end last year, back as a fullback, and now as a lead for the.
He had a stop at linebacker in there too. And I'm really happy for him. He's had a really good spring. And there was a point in his career, probably at this point last year, coming out of spring, end of his sophomore year, I wasn't sure if he was going to ever really be able to contribute to the team. Obviously last year we made a change in the offense, and he's recruited to play essentially fullback in an under center option. And he got moved from that position to linebacker, and from that linebacker position to tight end. And then when we made the transition back, really just kind of taking all those guys that were recruited to play that position and putting them back in that spot and see if he could find a way to get in the mix. And he really has. I mean, he's had a good spring, and not just running the football, doing the other things too. And so I'm happy for him. He's a great kid. He cares so much about this team. And so it was fun to see him get in there. He gained some tough yards on that drive before he scored the touchdown.
In a way, do you think that moving to that the shotgun kind of saved a spot for him on this team or no?
I think what saved his spot on the team. So we moved him to the H-back, or the kind of the cruiser position a year ago, to play in that offense. And he did some really good things in preseason camp at that position, but he was competing with guys like Crossan and Lingenfelter, and it's just gonna be hard for him to beat those guys out, because that's kind of what they do for a living. And but we kept him around, and so he got his opportunity to kind of get back in that position and get in a groove, and he's had a good camp. So I'm happy for him, and really proud of him for the perseverance.
Go ahead, Ken.
Jeff, you came into camp with the backfield decimated.
Mhm.
So what's your impression of what you saw here, and can you carry this over to next season?
So I'm sorry, I'm getting a little cold here, guys. The guys that ran the ball tonight: Jake Rendina, AJ Williams, Jarrell Dixon, Carson Smith. None of those guys have any significant snaps playing football as an Army football player on Saturdays. And I thought all four of those guys ran the ball really hard and really well tonight. Now, they're playing against their own teammates, so it's all relative. I mean, maybe we stink, so they were able to run the ball really well. But now I think we got tough guys, and they were playing hard tonight, and they were competing, and those guys ran the ball and got tough yards. And we're going to have to do that against other people that play for other teams. But I was encouraged, and I think that group has really improved over the course of spring, gained some confidence. And Kanye Udo's out there, who I think is the most talented guy at that position, and unfortunately got an ankle injury early in camp, and we've held him out. And so getting him back in the fall, I think that's only going to add to that group of backs. And obviously the things that we're doing offensively are different than we were doing a year ago. But you got guys like AJ Williams, Jarrell Dixon, Kanye Udo, Carson Smith, Jake Rendina. We're all recruited to play fullback in this offense. So it's not like they were recruited to do something else. They were recruited to play in this system. Some went to prep school, some guys came direct, but it was what we recruited them to do. So hopefully that group of guys that's going to be enough for us to be able to keep the game going, and they got to hang on to the ball and get the tough yards.
If you used a lot of under center as well as shotgun, I'm sure when the season arrives, you're going to do whatever you need to do that day. But I asked the guys in here before, and they all seem comfortable with being able to switch between the shotgun and center offense. How does that make you feel, knowing that they feel good about it?
Well, what's important for us in terms of being able to go from one to the other is not having two different offensive systems, not having a, excuse me, an under center system and having a shotgun system, that they're married and there's some carryover from one to the other. And so that's really been our goal, is to try to create a system where there is carryover, and that for the guys up front, for the guys on the perimeter, that there's just, it's not completely different. The skills and the fundamentals that they use to execute one isn't different from the other. And for the backs and the quarterbacks, that, the meshes and the aiming points on the run plays there's some consistency, and it's just hard to teach two different offenses. And so what we were doing 2 years ago in 2022 and what we were doing last year in 2023, we didn't just take those two systems and say, okay, we're going to run both of them. We've taken pieces of both of them and tried to mesh them together. And I think Cody's done a really good job of simplifying it for our guys. And, we still got a long way to go. We got a lot more that we're going to have to build in to the system to have enough to play a game and have answers. But it's it's not going to go like this. There's the bulk of it's in right now.
Still a good honeymoon, yes.
I haven't played it. We're 0-0. So
Jeff, also the last thing about the quarterbacks, Bryson, looked pretty good tonight. Dwayne obviously shined. How do you feel about that group and Bryson's ability to hold the top spot? I mean, is he number one, or is it a kind of a clean slate in August?
no, I think right now, if we had to play a game tomorrow, Bryson Daly would be our quarterback. So until somebody beats him out, he's the quarterback. But it's good to see Dwayne Coleman building confidence and making plays and improving. And there's still things that he's got to do better. And Bryson made some mistakes, particularly early last year. It's his first season as a starter. And sometimes you learn by making mistakes. And I wish they could learn the lessons by watching somebody else. I wish they could learn the lessons in practice. And sometimes they learn the lesson by making a mistake. And unfortunately, sometimes that costs us. But I thought Bryson had a really good year. He's earned the spot at the top of the depth chart right now. But Dwayne and Cale and Zach and those three guys they're in a good, healthy competition to be the number two. And each one of them does enough things that they're gonna be able to compete, and they're gonna be in the mix. So there's not, I wouldn't say a clear cut, here's who number two is and here's who number three is at this point. But none of those guys have game experience. Zach Mundell, his athleticism, he's not rocket fast, but he's a really good athlete. He's really good in space. Dwayne is such a good leader and just does such a good job with the team and leading the offense. He led that last drive. And so those guys are different, but they're probably battling out right now for number two. And Cale Helms just got to grow up and not make freshman mistakes. And when he does that, he's going to be in the mix.
So Jeff, what was your favorite part of today?
We didn't get hurt. That was the best thing. And
As far as your interactions and
yeah,
seeing what you wanted to see.
just the spirit that those guys played with, the fight in them. They played really hard, competed to win. The last series of downs where the team in the black jerseys had the ball right down there on the goal line, and the team in the white jerseys didn't quit. They didn't give up. They kept fighting and to block a kick and take the ball the distance. And, just to hear the guys on the sideline cheering for their teammates and they're into the game. That's what I want our team to be, is a team that fights really hard and competes and is fully invested. And I felt like they had that spirit and energy tonight. So that was a huge positive, despite all the mistakes.
We'll go to Joe for two quick on Zoom. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, Coach Monken, real quick, you're replacing a lot of productivity at corner from last year. Talk a little bit about the job Coach Dixon's done with that young group at corner and how you felt those guys performed tonight.
Daryl Dixon is an outstanding coach. He's just a great professional. It's fun to sit in his meeting room and listen to him teach. It's fun to go over and watch him coach guys in individual drills and the detail of fundamentals and techniques and the knowledge that he has. He is a fabulous football coach. And he's been here now 8 seasons with us, I think it's been. And just done a great job. Started out as a linebackers coach, then transitioned to the corners. Had worked with Jay Bateman at Ball State, and Jay brought him in, and I'm glad he did. And I feel incredibly fortunate he hadn't left, because that guy could coach anywhere, any level, any team. He's outstanding, and he's done a great job with this group of corners. Very little experience. Platt has played some and has started a couple of games. Jaden Mays was out the whole season with eligibility issues. So just to get him kind of back in the groove, and the rest of the guys are a bunch of freshmen. I shouldn't say it. Justin Weaver's a sophomore, going to be a junior, and he's as talented as anybody we've got at that position. And so Daryl, I know is going to continue to work with him and bring him along, and hopefully we'll be able to get a lot out of Justin Weaver. But the real young guys, Joe Stevens and Jackson Hammond, those guys are they're the future of the program. They're going to have to play. They're going to have to be special teams guys. They're going to have to be ready to go in the game, and Daryl will have them ready. A couple of them aren't ready yet, but they will be. It won't because they're not well coached.
And Coach Terrell Robinson was one of the veterans that didn't dress today. Was that just out of precaution primarily?
T-Rob's not ready to go yet. He had a postseason procedure, and he's been held out since that procedure in the off season. And he didn't play at all in the spring, and so we'll bring him back as the summer goes along, and hopefully we're going to have him ready to go when we start the season in the fall.
Stuff. And last question for you, Coach. Pretty even distribution of under center and shotgun plays tonight. Was that by design, or is that just kind of how it worked out tonight?
It's probably just kind of how it worked out. So Cody Worley was calling the plays on the black team. Mike V was calling plays for the gold team. So I know they had conversations before the game tonight, and just kind of what they wanted to do, what they wanted to get on film. Obviously when one guy's calling it, it's going to be, when Cody's calling it, it's going to be him just kind of getting in the groove and feeling the game and what's right at the time. But I think there'll be a good healthy mix, and there may be some games where we're under center more than shotgun, and some games where we're in shotgun more than we're under center. But there's a reason for all of it. It's not hey, we need to run this many plays in the gun. It's just kind of what we feel needs to be done at that particular time. And so it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. And I think, for both sides and for us in general, we wanted to get every player in the game. We wanted to get everybody's significant snaps and have a chance to evaluate them. And so some of the plays we called were just an attempt to get the ball to a certain guy and give him a chance to make a play. And so some of that might have been a call, just, hey, I want to get a look at this. And so we'll kind of see where we're at in the fall and what we need to do. And we got a pretty good idea of who we need to be.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Okay. Thanks for being here, everybody. Appreciate you guys coming, sticking it out.
Yeah, it's-
Offensive line with, possibility of back is that, but the guys have stepped